We're finally here.
Hello, everyone.
Oh my God, it's happening. Oh, by the way, oh my God, I realized I said, oh my God, a lot.
Oh
So
my
start the
God. Oh
counter.
my God. Start the counter, everyone.
Oh my goodness as well counts. So
Welcome, everyone, to our first Hawaiian Mint recap of season 36 of The Amazing Race.
and we are on the screen, so we still cannot believe it. We are super excited. We had a great time. We had the premiere party hosting here with another
Yes,
4
in
teams.
New York City, 4 teams. Thank you all, everyone who came out. We had a really great time. Thank you for all your love and support. We had an excellent time.
And yeah, I mean, we're ready to start going over. First of all, for whoever doesn't know as much, I'm Cesar.
Cesar.
Oh my God.
For all those wondering,
the pronunciation.
The pronunciation, Cesar.
And Ricky.
And my name is Ricky. I know that's a little bit easier.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been a super fan for a long time.
Long time.
Love the show. And pretty much we will touch base on like how we prepare for the race in another video, but like a little bit is just I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I talked to one of my best friends, I talked to a cousin, and like just the years keep passing by, and it just got to a point that I was like, we were what, 3 years, 4 years, more than 4 years together. And I was like, Ricky, we should do this. Like, I don't want to live with regrets. Hopefully
just go for it.
And we applied. My fear was always like, I've never been in shape. So I was like, I keep waiting for whenever the time happened. Like, whenever I'm in shape. But you know what? It was just applying.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to like take the plunge in life, be bold, be confident, and just go for it. And that's kind of what we did. And we auditioned and
we got to meet these other 12 teams that everyone is awesome. Like,
yes,
I'm hoping everyone is falling in love with it.
We've got some season 36 people in the chat. Yeah. Hey, guys. Thank you for joining us. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to recap the first episode, but kind of within our perspective of things and kind of give you some behind the scenes a little bit, things that maybe you didn't really get to see, and some kind of some insider background stuff.
And as well, like now that we got to see everyone else's stories, like we have some pointers there. We want to make it a little bit dynamic and just like show you, for example, some highlights that we have about the episode that we love. And as well as a super fan, I found it helpful watching other people that have previous racers that have podcasts and just videos and recaps and all of that. That inside scoop helped us, I feel, a lot in this episode. So we want to pay it forward and just like give a tip for future racers. And that is going to be pretty much how it's going to be. And should we start?
Yeah, let's start. You know, speaking of starting, I think probably the coolest thing about the whole process was like that starting line. I mean, standing on the beach in front of Phil, like just like the most iconic moment. Like, I don't even know. Like, it was so surreal. Like,
it was happening. It was finally happening. And just being there, start hearing about everyone. So a little bit insight right here. We got to meet everyone a week before, but we did not talk to absolutely any of the other teams.
Anything about anyone. And
just their faces and measuring it out. And so we just got to finally hear a little bit of everyone, their names, what do they do for a living, and that was about it.
That was it.
And then there goes Phil.
I know. And you know, that energy, like just being on the beach, there's just like this adrenaline, this like vibration of just adrenaline and energy and just like the emotion, like
and the excitement,
and it like just being there. I know the rest of the cast can attest to this. It was just like so surreal and like it just was so awesome. And then Phil's standing there and he's like, all right, racers, like, and then he says like the iconic line and it's just like, man, the go. And like you just like, I mean, I think the people watching, like you saw, like we shot out of the gates. Like there was no stopping us. And
it was everyone. If I have to say something about this cast, is like everyone is extremely competitive.
Like everyone. There was no one like everybody's like, oh, it's a marathon. It's no, like that moment was like the race.
And
like,
you saw it
sprint.
and you saw it at the beginning. But so now that we have like this intro, like the first 5 minutes, people introducing themselves,
Yeah.
and then we cut and we finally see our intro. So this was really fun when we actually have to like
Team
go on
Walla
the-
Walla says you were speed demons. Seriously though, like everybody was booking it. I mean, it was incredible. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
it was
really, really
the
cool.
energy. It really, like, I'm not a sprinter. I'm more of a marathon runner. But at that
But at
moment,
that point,
my little legs
everyone-
are like,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, just going back to the intro, like we got to see all the like their team's intro, and that day it was like a green screen, and like we got to see it, and like we kiss on camera, and that for me was, I mean, you see like season 1, like they're I believe domestic partners, or they just said like it's not exactly like boyfriends or husbands, or it's just at this point in time, and just seeing a gay couple kissing on screen, and that gay couple was us. Oh my god, it's just wow.
It's pretty interesting to like kind of see yourself, but also like have representation.
That is the thing. I feel like for me, that's something that the show has always brought, is this representation, is this diverse group of people, and that has been through pretty much the whole time. So it's just really awesome. So seeing that intro and seeing everyone intro, and like how we like all like previous race, like we filmed this, we're super excited. You see the excitement in everyone, and that was just like a really big highlight for me, like through the episode. So then we moved to the running through the hotel. We did not see that on the episode.
Okay, you say hotel. It was not a hotel. It was a resort. Like everybody's like, oh, why are they all out of breath getting to the cars? Because it wasn't a hotel. This was a resort. Like we ran through the beach, through the whole pool area, through what was like,
then we went like 1 floor or 2 floors,
3 floors up,
2 floors up.
It was like 3.
Well, it felt like 3. I keep saying that it was
up
2.
3 flights of steps across like a food court, through the lobby,
and then we finally get it like to the ramp, to the parking
Everybody
lot.
was like sweating, dying, and I know the viewers are like, why were they dying in the first 3 seconds? It was like a 4-minute sprint. Like
it was a lot, and nobody was stopping. So like you see everyone running. It's like
So like it's funny. Like, oh hey Kishori, it was like it was a sprint for like 4 minutes straight. So I know the fans were asking, like, why are they all out of breath in the first 5 minutes?
That was the reason.
And that was the reason, because it was like the hotel from where we started at the beach to where the cars were was a very long distance.
Okay, so now we get there and there's a bunch of cars lined up. We did not went to the closest one to the exit.
No, we didn't.
We didn't, but we just weren't thinking about that. It's okay, but future racers, that's might be a little bit gap. Okay. Like if someone like, I don't know, it's a manual car and they get stopped, whatever. Like just thinking back, it should have been a good idea. Just running.
Yeah, we could have gone down further, but I think
still fine. We get there, we report clue, and it says, I'm not gonna lie. It says drive your souls, find the voladores along the malecón. So then over there, we got instructed we need to park in 2 different places, either or 2 different streets.
Yeah.
At this point, we have been in Puerto Vallarta. But, oh yeah, and we can go back a little bit.
So here's what's really interesting. Like in our preparations for the race, like we knew that every moment was meant to plan. Like any moment we were like in a car, or any moment any downtime, anytime we were in a plane, anytime we were in a hotel room, that was all time for planning. So
and I'm just gonna say it like this, like when we landed and we saw like all the sign on the airport that it said Puerto Vallarta, we were both like on the seat like, but we were just like, don't say anything, don't give away to any other team that we have been here and that we're this excited. So that was really cool because we saw that. Then our way to the hotel, we had to make it to the hotel somehow. So it's not that we're like this. Of course, we were looking like, what was the direction?
The whole ride from the airport to the hotel, we're making mental notes. Cesar is very good with directions. So he is making mental
Well,
notes.
don't hurt me out because I don't know if I'm gonna.
Okay. Well,
I'm good.
at this point, he is making full-on mental notes of like, okay, this is how we get from the main highway to the resort.
So thanks to that, we just like once we
So
got
when
that
we
clue,
got to the car in the clue,
we were
he
like,
already knew
yeah, I knew
how
where
to
the
get from
highway.
right the resort back to the highway.
So I was like, right
So we
away, I
didn't need a
left,
map.
right.
We
and
didn't
like,
need to get back into the hotel for directions or anything.
so at this point, like I'm in totally disbelief. Like
Yeah.
we're on the car, we're chatting, and we're like, I think, yeah, Danny, you weren't the only one crying. Like,
No, there were lots of tears in that car.
So
The cry
yeah,
count, they didn't show a lot of our tears in the first episode, but there were a lot of tears from us.
once we made it to the highway, it was easier to just look for the signs, and like we made it to the center, and I think that was like the faster.
Yeah,
or-
it was easy enough once you're on that main road to know like, oh, there's the center.
Cry counter.
Team Walla Walla. Cry counter. Listen, it was bling 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 bling.
Yeah.
Yes, Team Walla Walla and Team Hawaiian Mint off the Richter scale, right?
So
there.
once we were on the right path, we knew that. Like I keep thinking, just like how just the neighborhoods are aligned pretty much. So these were names of people. So once we start passing, like I think it was like jaguars, some animals. So I was like, no, it's not here. So we just keep going. We ended up making it to where the street was. We found the street, but Ricky turned left, and you see over there, and this is like super, super important. I think he's just feeling confident. So I just got out of the car, stopped the traffic. I was like, okay, Ricky, you can back up. Like,
yeah, you see, like, I think that's kind of what's interesting is like when you're driving and when you see a street like that and it's like, we know
there was no light. So
I was
so like, I was really polite. I said thank you, but I stopped the traffic and I was like, Ricky, you can just
back
up.
There's no time. We knew like you're in the race, like there's no time to lose. So like we knew like if we weren't gonna back up, like you're gonna lose
whatever
5
advantage
minutes to come around. So like no.
So we ended up doing that. We parked. We found like the first street, and then we found the Voladores right away. We got that. Okay, another thing that happened.
Wasn't it so exciting when we first like that first clue box?
Oh, because of course we were like counting.
Like,
we were counting clues, and like we were up front. Like we don't know if there were extra clues, but like we were up front, and that was awesome. Yeah. So once we counted the clues, like we rip the clue, and then we have detour, push it or pin it, and that's what it was written down over there. And that's we were just sorting through it. And here is where we have been in Puerto Vallarta, and that helped us.
Yeah.
Because last time we were there, we saw the rocking horses. And we knew that they were big. Why? Because we could get on them. And this is the proof that we were there. 1 second. It's our first time. We're figuring out. That's us. That is,
hey.
So we knew that those were really, really big.
They're very large horses.
Yes. Yeah. So because we knew that, we were like, okay, we as well, our advantage is memory. So we decided to do pin it.
Yeah. Although these horses were I think wooden. I think the ones in the race were.
No, they were wooden.
Were they wooden?
Yeah, they were wooden. All
right, let's get a confirmation. Let's get a confirmation from the racers.
And
were they wooden? I thought they looked metal to me.
So another thing that they didn't show over here, maybe 1 block away, we'll have a little map later, and we can show you from a corner away. There was like an tourism information. Yeah, they were wooden.
Oh, they were wooden. Okay.
So we saw a tourist information kiosk. We went over there. We asked for a map, and like we got our little map. Where it was like,
so that was like one of our like first stops. Like we straight to a tourism map, and that was actually one of like our strategies when we were planning.
Because we knew that Puerto Vallarta is a tourism spot,
touristic,
and most likely it's going to be really easy to get a tourist map. Those are not accurate and usually tend to be like really distorted, but that helped. That was good. So we grabbed our map. We asked for the Plaza Hidalgo, and we ran away. we made it to the luchadores, and it was
We
like,
run away.
yeah, we run away.
We did kind of
Hey, you see
literally
us,
run
you
away.
see us, and they
So-
showed that scene because the twins were
The
driving.
twins, and we actually kind of like
Oh.
dodged because after we got our directions, when we turned around, Derek and Shalisa were just getting to the clue box. So I was like, "Oh, yellow, come on!" Like,
So we ended
like,
up running
literally
one block
ducked.
up, another
We
block.
like
so-
kind of ducked and like tried to hide from them so they couldn't see us.
That is true. We run from them. We ended up making it over there. This is gonna be later on one of my tips for future racers, but just saying over there, if you get it to a station, explore the station. Because the clue itself said like claim your station and then wait for the show. So the rules here were there's one luchador show
every 5
minutes, and you will see it for 40 seconds. So now when the show is starting, you have to be ringside. And that's why like you see me as well pulling Ricky like, oh, you have to be here. Like, because we did not want it to get.
Well, you know what's actually really funny? So we arrived first, and so we claimed our station, and we got to the ringside. And
oh yeah, I started like hitting it.
Yeah, we
like,
both started banging on the ring, and the wrestlers started to come out.
But it wasn't time yet.
It wasn't time.
So they had to like turn around
and go back.
Yeah, it was a little scary just seeing them running towards us.
It was actually really funny.
But like that, we knew like what happened. So we ended up.
I think we had one full round
before
Rod and Leticia actually showed up.
Arrived. So, and you see all of that, and that's where my oh my god and oh my goodness count starts.
Well, no, the tension.
Oh, that's another count.
How many times did Cesar say the tension? The tension.
So that happened. Ron and Leticia we didn't get our first try. Ron and Leticia get there.
Well,
and we go one more time. They were trying to get out of us what was the challenge about. We're like, oh, you'll see in a little, just wait another 2 minutes. Like, well, you'll get it. Like, we knew that we were front of the pack at that point, or we hoped for, because at that point we don't.
Well, at that point there was no one else at the.
Yeah, so we were like, we are not giving away anything yet. It is the first leg, and we stay quiet. So the next round goes, we get it wrong again, and because I'm stronger with memory, we divided that I will do 3 pairs.
Stronger memory.
Hey, Ricky would do 2 pairs, so that happened. But still, we didn't get it right.
But the chaos there was just it was really crazy, because when with the first round going up, you don't really know.
Oh, and the pairs of luchadores wouldn't stay on their place. Like they rotate,
were moving around.
They were moving around.
It was really like.
And when Ricky was saying chaotic. Like gold and shiny gold,
and gold,
like, there were 2
Batman
different golds.
Blue Man,
Batman and Blue Man, and that's what we titled this episode, Batman and Blue Man.
And you kind of heard some of the other teams through the challenge. They're, you're coming up with these little like
whatever name you get,
Spider-Man and unicorn guy or robot dude, or everybody came up with all these like little sayings to kind of.
But that's the way to go, and that really
actually I feel like one of the teams I heard them actually using the names.
Oh, that was Rod and Leticia.
Yeah, they were using the names, which was really interesting, because I did not even register that they had names until the episode aired.
So that happens.
So that just goes to show like different people's memory styles. Like I was fully visual. I did not even register that they had names. Yeah.
I don't think, no, I didn't notice, but it was on the background. Yeah, I didn't really saw it as much. Yeah. So then the next round is happening, and at that point, Kishori and Charisma arrived.
Kishori arrived.
Again, it's the first leg. What we did
they arrived from behind us.
We see them behind, and we go and like hug our responses. And like, and you see it on the episode. They're just like, we're not looking.
Which is like very sweet, and playing honest game,
Totally. And at this point, again, it's just the first leg. We're front of the pack. I think we came to the race with the mentality of like, let's try to do it on our own.
Yeah.
And if we can help a team without hurting ourselves, or without like just hurting the chance to maybe come in.
I think we had a mindset. It was like, we're going to run our race, and if we have the ability to help someone, then we'll help someone, but it can't be in
no,
it can't hurt us. Or potentially like put us at a disadvantage. So it, it's like a chess game. You
But
have
again,
to play your car.
you're there, you're seeing the chance
Yeah.
of first place, and you're like taste it. You can almost
Yeah.
taste it, although it was only the detour. But
Yeah.
well, the third round starts, and at that point we get it. It was really funny. The judge was like, no,
no. And like, I know like sometimes they do like the pickups and like the recordings of that, but he was every check he was on it. So like it was really fun to interact with him.
And you can see as well, like we might have looked like we were having a great time. We were stressed out because at that point there were 3 teams over there, and it just felt like the stress was getting high. We were there first.
This guy, right?
We were not getting it.
No. Focus. I don't want to do this again.
Okay, me neither.
Yeah. Let's listen to it again. You would think we were like really angry at each other. Play it again. Focus. I don't want to. That was actually us, like next to him.
And you could think as well that he was really angry. He was nice.
He was really, really nice.
Still, that happened. We ended up getting it on the next try, and at that point,
I remember saying that, and it was like, I don't want to do it again either. Like, let's get the heck out of here.
He ended up giving us our clue, and our clue says to go to Lienzo Charro, Miguel Prieto y Barria. And we got the address for it, and that was about it. So now it's time to scramble. We tried to look on our map. That map was not exciting.
That map was tricky. So the directions we got were from a local, and she had given us the local directions. And
she was like, "Oh, I live close to there. Like, maybe
I live really close by. Like, take this road." So we're like, "Okay, great." She's like, "Oh, it's the shorter way. Like, you'll cut out traffic."
So we took notes as we could. We ended up heading that way, and on our way there, we hit a road that was like,
it was under construction.
Yeah, it was under construction. And at that point we had to backtrack, and I'm trying to get bearings from the map. We made it back to the highway. Let's say we got lost for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Until we got back to the highway. We ended up going around on the long way. We passed by the airport. We stop again. We ask for directions. Something that you have to remember is that when you stop for directions, your audio person, because at all times you have an audio and a camera person.
Yeah.
The audio person has to get a release signed by the person that you ask for directions.
Every
so
time.
That is going to eat a lot of time. Sometime. No. I'm saying like 2 minutes, maybe.
It
depends.
I think during that leg, it wasn't that bad. Like, because we made sure to get really good directions.
Yes.
And we took really good notes.
So when we would take directions, it was worth it taking that little extra time to get the audio person getting the release. Mm-hmm. By the way, like every episode you get a different audio and camera person, and this is just not to create bonds. That's what we believe. So like that, there's no favoritisms, mm-hmm. And as well, like every camera person has a way of filming, and that is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, like that's just a little bit behind the scenes. So we stop at a gas station. We got our directions.
Yeah,
we get them right.
Yeah.
To the point, like right, left, right. So we made it to the street that we needed. And this is what happened. This is a blessing in disguise.
I know. So it was interesting. So we got lost just enough that as we're coming up to the rodeo, Rod and Leticia were getting out of their car.
How did we know that we're Rod and Leticia? Because they were wearing bright orange.
And boom, what did we see to our right? Bright orange.
We just backtrack a little, turn around.
No, we didn't even have to backtrack, because as I was pulling up, I looked to my right and boom, bright orange. So it kind of was like a blessing in disguise, because we would have passed it if it weren't for their bright orange outfits.
So thank you, Rod and Leticia.
Thank you. And then so you could see, like in the episode, like we literally arrived at the same time.
So we read a clue, and it says, "Who's feeling low-key?" And that's all we get.
Oh, so someone said, I was wondering about that. Yeah, so we only got lost. we were, yeah, so they had finished right after us. So maybe they had at the wrestling match, they maybe did like one or
One,
two rounds after us,
or they got lost as well.
or
So
they got
that's what
lost
we
as
don't
well.
know.
Yeah. But we arrived like literally at the same time.
So we get our clue who's feeling loopy. We had talked about this, and while we were at the hotel, we were like, we're in Mexico. I have the advantage of the language if
Yeah.
needed.
We
So-
really didn't know. We didn't know what the challenge was going to be.
I mean, we knew that it was at Alienzo, so we saw the saddle for the horse. So we were thinking like maybe doing the lasso.
If it was horse riding, like Cesar grew up riding horses, so like if it was horseback riding, he knows how to ride a horse.
So it was something that we just went strategically, and that's what I decided to do it. And then we went into the challenge, and there was a little station if you wanted to train. You could do it, and then like you can see it on the show as people are running by. Rod decided not to train. I decided to try one time.
Yeah, you only tried it once.
And I noticed that there was some sort of a sequence, but I didn't really get to see it until I was actually on the arena. When I saw, and I think I have a photo when I'm jumping. I'm not sure,
I don't think
but
you have one.
no. Oh, well, that's fine. I decided that when I noticed that there was that sequence, it was like 1, 2, that the person was jumping on their own like lasso.
Right, yeah.
On the third try, that's when you had to jump. So I just started counting 1, 2, on the third one jump. And for me as well, like I could not crouch like too small, and I could not definitely not do what Vinny did, for example, like just like folding like a cheerleader. So I decided to go on my side. So I was just jumping on my side, and that helped for me because I could curl up a little better. I got it there, I think in 4 tries.
4 tries, yeah.
So Roddy started first, and he got it first. They got their clue, they leave, and I think I get it on the next one. And that was just like,
it was pretty fast. We weren't there very long.
It feels so good because it was muddy. Like the more times you did it, the more you get the mud on your shoes.
Yeah, the ground was like very soft, and
you start getting tired, and like your feet just start getting heavier. And although the lassos, like they had the rhythm, they were still like sometimes closing faster.
One of the things that I don't know if any of the other teams were doing, but I noticed like you actually ended up like working with the lasso people.
I mean, no, I was just counting. That's what I was like
counting out loud.
But I was counting as they were doing it. I don't know if that was
if it was helping them or you or whatever, but you were counting out.
But I was counting out loud for myself. Like, so if that works, I don't know. But there was a rhythm, and it happened.
Yeah.
But I know you were mentioning that you were doing something.
Oh, yes. So like during the roadblock, like if you noticed, I was barely like cheering Cesar on. And that was something else that we, in our preparations for things, I said, like, if a roadblock is happening, you don't have to cheer me on if I'm doing something. Cause like, honestly, I'll probably get annoyed.
But I don't mind getting cheered on.
Yeah, I did cheer you on a couple of times. But during that whole thing, I was taking notes. Like, how many
mariachis
were there? What the horse looked like? What was she wearing when
and this was just a super fun thing.
Yes,
like if we made it to the
every little detail, like what was the song? What was how many flags were around? Like
so we have talked about all of that. Like
detail when teams I was jotting down because you don't know like what of those details are going to come back later. For a memory challenge or whatever. So I took those moments to like really take detailed notes and like
we talked about this. Like if we were to make it to the finale, like we wanted to have notebook with all the notes that we had been studied. So I feel like that's a super fun move that also I'm pretty sure Juan was doing, pretty sure Danny was. I think sure everyone, but like Juan had his notebook like outside, so we could see it, and that's what like I know for sure that they were taking notes as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's
another thing. Like every minute of downtime was spent like preparing or prepping for something else.
We have some of the draws that we were making. We had our main notebook, but as well, once we finished the leg, we started doing
let me see
our little we have it. Yeah, 1 second. And here we go. Just like a little bit
Yeah,
of the
see, like
notes.
our little note
And the flag as well, super
card.
important just to have it. The masks, we actually don't know. We haven't checked if these masks are even a little bit close to what we actually had. But that
Yeah,
was
but these were
we had
just
the
what we
referee over there,
the referee. Yeah,
yeah,
because we had the guy with the curly hair.
and that's as much as we could
Like these were
remember.
like flashcards we made like
And
that night in the
just to write it
hotel.
down. And now it's a really cool souvenir that we have.
Yeah.
We love this. Yeah. And here, yeah. So then we got our clue, and at that point it says pit stop right to Los Arcos by the Malecon. Um, and that's we knew exactly where that
Yeah.
was. We knew that it was by the Malecon where we
I don't. Did we even get directions back?
no, we didn't get directions back.
I think.
And I think
switched it
neither
back.
Rod and Leticia, because we were one right behind the other. I found it extremely funny to watch Rod saying, "Oh, I don't know, like he was doing good, but I don't know if he's as athletic as me as a Spider-Man."
Spider-Man. I mean, they are very fit. And yeah,
Yes, yes. So I do believe he's as athletic as Spider-Man.
for sure.
But I guess like I could be his stunt double. Yeah, sure.
Right. Keep
Yeah,
going.
hey. I
love
wasn't
But we, he even said it like we were right behind them the entire leg.
Also love that they call us like baby blue.
Baby blue. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's okay. It's okay.
I don't think we even defined our color till probably a month ago.
But it's really nice seeing all of these like other insights on like now what were the other teams doing and thinking.
One of the things that was kind of cool, like being back to like helping team, even like that doesn't really hurt us. Going back, like when we were headed to the pit stop, we actually saw the Double Dutch team, Sean and Michelle, like as we're driving,
and they were like doing a U-turn.
They were like doing a U-turn and turning, and we like looked out the window and we were like, "Did you?"
First, I was like, "Should we help them?" And Ricky's like, "Well, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. If we can help them as we go." So what I did, I just like,
I was like, "I'm not turning around."
I grabbed my hat. I went out of the window, showed my hat, and I pointed at the hat. And we're like, "What's happening?"
Like,
I just point to the back, so they U-turn and they were able to get back on track towards the right direction. And like that's the kind of example, like we were willing to help, but we knew that we were already on our way to the pit stop.
Yeah.
So that happened.
A little olive branch, a little peace offering, like, hey, it's that way. But it's like,
yeah, and we don't know if eventually we can use the help at that point. Right. So we made it to the parking spot. At the Los Arcos.
Back, like coming back into that main road,
there was so much traffic because those streets on the downtown area are like one way, extremely packed. I guess it was rush hour, so we made it over there.
So much tension. So much tension.
We ended up parking. We see the other car over there, so we're assuming we're second. Yeah. We got out of the car, we jumped, and wow, that moment, the first leg, we finished. We're still in, and it's just holding hands, jumping together into the mat, and total panic. When Phil says
it was like you're second to arrive.
However came, and we're like, what did we do wrong? That
instantly
was like
thought like we got a penalty.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like what happened?
Like,
what did we do?
What do you mean, Phil?
Yes, like you're gonna just ask us to stand.
Nowhere in our brain did we think, because it said like make your way to the pit stop, last to arrive will be eliminated. Like, so it's just nowhere in our brain thought keep
however
racing.
I was not prepared for that. I was like, it's like we did something wrong. But
I mean, there's literally a screenshot of us like
yeah, literally.
like what the.
But that happened. He ended up pulling a second
clue.
A second clue. He gives it to us, and we're ready.
You like thanking him as if it was like your last meal. Like, thank you, please.
Hey, after thinking of that, it was a penalty. I'll take a keep on racing. Like, take your penalty. I'll take the keep on racing. Literally. So that happened, and that's how the episode ends for us. There were more things happening.
There was just like
afterwards, but like again, we wanted to keep it on
Extreme.
our perspective, like how we saw it, how we felt it, what we did, what we did right, what we did wrong, and this is pretty much how our episode
Yeah.
ended. So now we sort of have some maps.
Yeah, we have like two little segments. We thought it'd be really interesting to kind of like,
Should we go through the maps first?
yeah, let's go through the maps. Like, we thought it'd be kind of cool to
just show, like, pinpoint the places that we were, what we did, and just like for you to get an idea on the timing. How long from the start to keep racing would you estimate it took? I don't know. I didn't. Did you keep track? It felt.
You know, the driving was like,
I think the driving, and you will see it right here. Like, I think we're gonna give you an estimate on driving, and we can give you.
Kind of felt.
It just went by so
It felt
so
fast.
long and
everything
so fast.
Felt fast, but I don't know that it.
But
really
even the waiting the 5 minutes in between the rounds, we keep feeling that they were going fast enough because we just keep thinking.
So this was the map from
the hotel,
or
the start to the Malecón.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was just, it says about 21 minutes. This I was checking last night, so I'm pretty sure with traffic, it's a little bit more. But
I don't even remember it being that long.
I don't remember the time. We were so excited.
I think
we're so excited.
I don't even remember like it feel like it being.
But for this, at least ourselves, we did use this route that it was 21 minutes or so. Like that was a shorter. We just stick next to the water because that was my bearing pretty much to make sure that we were going on the right direction. That and the street signs. And then we have another map where we just show this is the kind of map that we got. Completely distorted.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much in three sections. There is a white vision of it where we have the numbers. And then the top left corner, that one is the downtown area. And in the downtown area is where the detour happened. So at least we have the streets over there. We could read the streets, so it was easier to navigate. But it's still, on the long one, point 1 was the hotel. Point 2 is where detour happens. Point 3, roadblock happened. And then going back to Los Arcos in the Malecón.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it, just for you to get a little visual. On the longer lines.
It's kind of interesting because like this map isn't super detailed. So it's kind of hard to like even navigate.
And we saw that Amber and Beanie had a map similar to this that was like divided in sections.
Yeah, you can kind of see it when she's like describing. She's like, we're up here
and we should be here.
She's like, but I don't know how to like. So I think part of like the navigation for many of us, like it was hard because
and even having
the maps that were available weren't great.
So now I can only imagine for whoever didn't have a map and just taking directions. We saw Kishore and Karishma getting super excited about
like the left. So like that's how like the directions were so challenging. Like,
and like
that's
any
how
pointer,
exciting it was when you got it right.
And then we had one more map, and this one pretty much the detour. The green arrow pretty much shows how we made it to the Voladores. The Voladores are over there. Then we had the 2 spots where we could park, which are in purple. And the street in the middle is where Rohan and Maya turned right and got stuck. So they were right in the middle. They were the sandwich. Rohan and Maya, we love you. It's just, it's so sad that the turn was over there.
Right.
So once we made it to the Voladores, this is for us was the blue arrow that took us to Plaza Hidalgo, where the Luchadores went, and where you see the rocking horses over here is where the other detour was. It says Google Maps says that walking is like 10-15 minutes. I do not believe that. It's high, like going
it's really
hill.
So all of this is like hill, like because Puerto Vallarta is like in a mountain, it's all mountainous, so it's actually really, really beautiful. You can kind of see in some of the videography, so it's all like encapsulated in a mountain. So when you're on the beach, if you turn around and look up, it's a hill. So you can kind of see
just running up.
You can see like these little dots here. these are stairs.
So now the timing is knowing where you're going. But you have to consider that you had to stop either to get a map, to get directions, how many times, and then just make it over there.
Yeah.
So I would say like a good 20 to 30 minutes just to find it. Although it seems close, you need to stop for directions. So I think that's what happened. I'm not sure the teams that did push it. But then once they made it over there, it was getting the horse. And something that happened was as well that because of traffic, they cannot turn over here to the right. And all the other exits are streets that had stairs. They could not take stairs. And that was another rule. Like no stairs, only streets. And they had to go through the street. So pretty much that's what we saw with Derek and Chalisa, that they took this route, like towards the yellow arrows. They would pass through the pit stop, but the pit stop was not set up. So they could not see that the pit stop was going to be over there. And they ended up on this statue, which is called In Search of Reason. And that's where they had to disassemble the wheels and just get it ready. And that was pretty much it. Once they finish over there, they could go back to the parking and head to the roadblock. We see over here as well the two info booths. Those are tourism info that they could have gotten maps.
So one of the things that we actually did, which kind of seems like counterproductive for us. So after we left the wrestling match to head back to the cars, we actually, remember, we passed our car.
We did.
And we went back to the same tourism booth
because we had already
had a release form from that girl.
So we did not get
to the same girl, so we didn't have to get the same thing. And then we went back to the car.
So now we go back to the street with the red arrow, and we head to the roadblock. Over here, we ended up taking the long route, like the 27-minute route, because we just got lost, and that's how we ended up going this way. And that's how I feel like Ron and Leticia gained some time.
around the whole, like, we came, the long way around the airport, which is down here.
And we'd stop somewhere around here to ask for directions again. That's how we got it, and we ended up making it. And I mean, that was pretty much it. Like this segment,
it's kind of cool to kind of get a visual of the navigation. And this is like kind of, I mean, it's almost 20 to 30 minutes out. So if you made any kind of navigate, but if you made any type of wrong turn on here,
it just adds time, and the traffic adds time, and like every time you stop and ask for direction, adds.
And if you think about it, we left pretty early in the morning, and by this point,
so I don't
right, like
it was a little bit,
so like there's traffic, you know, you're
so because of this, is just that we see that the other teams might have gotten lost because there was a lot of like placement change,
a lot of placement change
heading towards the pit stop. And then it's just like the pit stop happened, and that was about it with the maps, just like for you to get a little bit of an idea. Another thing that we wanted to do in this segment, pretty much, we're gonna
we have like two more
segments. The highlight, and on our highlight we wanted to talk about the music selection, the editors, like they did so good, because it was not only the music, we also got some slow-mo that paired together with these sections. It's just like, it's a really, really good highlight, I feel. So we wanted to share with you like the moments that we feel that we like the most, audio ways, and just the slow motion.
Let's go. How's it going? What's up? Nice to meet you.
Fine green, skull and silver.
Oh my gosh.
Stop. Stop.
love seeing Karishma having fun over there. And the twins. So when the twins were like trying to figure it out where to get the clue, like if they have to climb, the song that they got them, oh my god, what
just
was
like them just like
yep. Then we had Rohan. No, what was the second one? Rohan and Maya trying to get out on the pickle that they were. Oh no, the second one was the ring.
So the ring, like just all the slow-mo motion,
and having the walls, really a walls as the luchadores are just jumping. That was really cute. And then Rohan and Maya trying to get out of there. The song as well was like plays perfectly.
Yeah.
And yeah, as for the last one, the Jarabe Tapatio and having courage.
Like racking it
we
up.
found it really, really
Yeah,
good.
just the editing for all those like little moments of like slow-mos and everything just were really, really fun.
We had a blast. And
Yeah.
let us know as well, like later on in the comments in the chat, like what other parts of the episode you liked. And just the last part that we want to talk, and this is like a pay it forward section. It is our super fan for future
Yes,
racers
tips for the future racers.
You want to start with yours?
I'll start with mine. I have 2 tips. My first tip is just be aware of your surroundings. And so I know there was a lot of talk of like, oh, Ricky and Cesar have like been to Puerto Vallarta before. They saw the horses. And sure, we saw the horses. However, we also rode on those roads and we knew that there were cobblestones, right? So like not only like physical challenges can be easier, but the cobblestones and like we've read through the additional information. So we knew like horses are going to be big and cobblestones. So like I knew like all of the roads that we just drove in on were cobblestones. Like just being aware of your surroundings of like the roads are cobblestones, that's going to be terrible. Done. Like just like, yes, being aware. The second one is when you go into the race, be bold. Like, don't be afraid to just like be super confident and just like go for it. Like literally be bold enough to stop traffic.
Yep.
Like get out of the car and stop traffic. Like there's no time to waste. Just like go for it. There, like don't hesitate. Just go for it.
As for mine, I also have 2 tips, and one of them, it's what was my tip? One of them was it happened while we watch it later on. The luchadores. Once we got to our station, it said claim your station,
Yes.
and we claim our station, but we still had to wait for the show to start.
Mhm.
At that point, there was a box over there with the masks pictures there. We claim our station. Nowhere it said that we could not take the cards. So if you are racing and you get to a memory challenge, something that has an station, go through whatever is on your station, because that might have helped us a lot.
Yeah,
seeing which luchadores we had to focus on, because there were extra luchadores fighting, wrestling. So we could have easily not focused on those, focus on the one we have. So that was my very first tip. If you're racing, you have a station, check your station, check around it, and whatever the utensils are. Or the tools are, whatever you need to do. I forgot my second one. Oh, yeah, I have it. I remember now. When you ask for directions.
Your second tip is to remember tips.
To remember tips. My second tip, as well, people that are going on the race, if you ask for directions, ask to see or look for the picture of the place that you're going. We did not do that with the lienzo. So if we weren't that lucky seeing Rod and Leticia, we could not have had an idea on how it looked from the outside. So just like look at the picture on how it looks from the outside, so you have an exact idea on what are you looking for. Not only the address, but how it looks. And I think that's my tips for this episode.
Yeah. I really like that one. Like, don't just look at the address and the directions. Like, look at the photos of the location. That's a really good one.
That's about it. I mean, it was really cool just watching us on TV. Finally, the fact that we had the chance to hang out with the other teams, hang out with friends, family, and it's a blast. We're really excited that we made it through the first leg. We're going to the second leg on a keep on racing. Extremely tired, extremely sweaty.
Yes, that day was extremely hot.
Yeah, as for this, I mean, leave us any questions you have.
Yeah, we could take a minute. Like anybody in the chat have any
question?
questions?
Yeah, you're right.
Take a quick question. If anybody has one. Brad said it's cool to see and get some context with the maps. We thought so too, Brad.
Yeah.
I thought, it's cool to, everybody talks about like, oh, they got lost, but it's like,
But you don't, yeah, you
don't
really
know.
don't think about it.
We don't know those locations going into it.
And the extra time.
And then the extra time, yeah.
That is it.
Oh, Brad also said, how long from the start to keep racing? What do you estimate it took? Oh, from like when we started to the end.
I don't know.
That's hard. It really is like when you start.
Because although we had a watch, we did not look at the watch.
It honestly is a blur. And like when you're racing, it's like, it really is. It becomes a blur. Like yeah.
But well, that was it for episode 1.
Yeah.
Now, if you have questions, leave it in the comments. If you have like a highlight of the episode, leave it in the comment.
Make sure you subscribe.
Because we'll be doing this hopefully weekly. We're going to be here, hopefully bringing more insights and just...
And if you have an idea of like what kind of insider thoughts you want or a segment you'd like to hear, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, either here, Instagram as well, Ricky and Cesar. You can find us over there. And yeah, that was it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.